Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Rohit and today we'll talk about the number in JavaScript. So basically, if I type the var num and then let's say I'm typing a hi, although the variable name I have provided that number, I'm putting the string. Now let's print that here type of num, okay, and if I run that, what will return? It will return the this variable's type, what type of variable it's inside. So if I run that, it is showing that it's a string. Now for number, if we put that 2 and then run that, it will give me the number. Okay, so basically uh, the JavaScript is enough smart enough to understand that what type of variable you are putting. Okay, and based on that it can be calculated. Now we have basically two type of number. One is the integer, another is the float. So in our system we have a number called integer and float. So if you see here, if I go back here, so this is the integer. Okay, now if we put the 2.2 and this is the float. So is the any digit which is having that dot, it means that that's a float. Now if we run that, it's also a number. Okay, so basically in the JavaScript they have not distinguished between integer and float, but we do have that in the system. We do have also that integer and float. So whenever you are creating or whenever you are declaring, system automatically understand it's a number. Now let's understand one thing. I am declaring a number 1 equal to 2 and another number equal to num2 equal to 2.2. Okay, so these two variable. Now how do we add those two variables? So let's say var num3 equal to num1 plus num2. Now let's first print the number and see what is showing. So I'll print that num3, and if we run that, it is giving me that 4.2, the exact correct number it is given. So system automatically detect that 2.0, and then this one it's detect that 2.2 and then it's add as a num3. Now let's say I will put the type of and see what the kind of type it is. It's a number because system does not distinguish between integer and float. So basically integer is a plain number which doesn't have any decimal value. Float is a number which have a decimal value. So that's the difference between integer and float. Now next topic is that how can we add number. We already talked about that, how can we add the number. So basically we can add these two number and it will give me that exact result whatever we are expecting. Now let's assume that uh, I have a variable called num1 and which is nothing but in a quotes. The num variable is in quotes. It means that the value is in string. So let's say if we add that, how it will be a react. So if I put num1 right now, the value is under quotes. It means that this type of this number isn't string. So if I run that, it's a string. The number one type of is a string. Now if we run the type 3, what will be happen? If we print the num3, what will be happen? Let's run that. It is giving 2 2.2. Why? Because I'll just make changes to 2 to 3, and now if we run that, you can see the 2 3 3.2. It is not giving exact number whatever we are expecting, because this number is a string and this number is a float or integer. It's actual number, right? As you adding these two number, as it is string, it is concatenating, or maybe it is adding themselves. I mean, it's not adding mathematically adding, it is adding as a string. Okay, so that's the issues whenever any value or variable type is a string but actually have a some number. In that case, it doesn't work properly. Okay, for that what we can do, we can convert this number to a this string operation to a number. For that, what I'll do, I'll type the parse int, so that this number has this number will convert it to a this string to a number. Okay, now if we run that, you can see it is working perfectly fine. 5.2. So it means that previously it was in right now it is converted to a number. Okay, but what will be happen if we type high? It will be what? Can it be converted to a number? So if we run that, you can see it is saying the none, because it cannot be it cannot done the operation. It cannot convert, this high cannot convert to a number because it's not a number. NaN means not a number. So if I run that, it's saying NaN, it means that not a number. So it cannot convert it that text to a number. So basically, if there is any value, numerical value, and that is string, you can convert to a number by parse int. Similarly, we can do the parse float. Now let's talk about that to exponential. So let's see, if I change this value to something like that, and then if I print num2 and run that, it is printing this value 3.233. So that is what it is actually expected. But if we want to show in the exponential like e value, how do we do that? So we can just do that 2e, and then here we can pass this value, and if we run that, it will give me that exponential e value. You can define that in a two factor. If you need the 2 digit, you can do that in a 2 digit even. Okay, 2 digit or 3 digit. You can define that how many digit you need as a after that floating point. You can define that. Now I'll just remove this 2 exponential. Similarly to the exponential, if you run that, I am getting that decimal value 3.23333 like that, right? So I need that floating point of 2. I mean, these till this point, I mean 2 decimal number. How do we do that? For that, we have a method called toFixed, and then we can define that how many characters we need. So we just have to type the toFixed, and here we need to define that how many character we need. Normally we use the 2, or you can define the 3, or how many character you need, or how many decimal you need, you can define, and then run that. Based on that, system will return you that exact value. Now we talk about that to fixed, to exponential, parse in, parse fold, parse in and parse float. Now we'll talk about toString. ToString is nothing but, let's say, I will just remove that one at that moment. And if we print the num3 at that moment, this is working as per expected behavior. So if we run that, it will add 2 value and return me that, right? Now I want to concatenate that this value to this value, this value to this value. What we can do, we can just use the toString value. So what will be happen to, basically the way we converted the string to a number, we can similarly convert the number to a string. If we run that, it is giving me that 2, then it is adding the 3 value. It is not actually, it is doing the concatenation. So basically toString will convert normal number to a string. So whenever you need it, you might need that a lot of places to toString operation. So whenever you needed that to converting that value number to a string value, you can define that toString. So that's it for today. Thank you very much. Have a great day.